Why do people who make a lot of money still feel unhappy or even depressed? Why do successful people in all areas of life still end up in toxic relationships? It seems like they have everything handled in life, but still keep falling for the same patterns. Surprisingly, the reasons for earning a lot and being unhappy can be exactly the same. They stem from childhood trauma. Let's have a look at 4 positive traits that stem from childhood trauma and their dark side. First, independence. You can handle life on your own and you wouldn't even think about asking for help. On the outside, you are strong and independent and you know what you're doing and where you are going. This trait can lead you far in life and often has an entrepreneurial spirit to it. But if it's caused by childhood trauma, it doesn't come without a cost. It's not that you don't ask for help because you know everything better, but asking for help scares you. Admitting that you don't have everything figured out and showing vulnerability or even weakness to others brings up anxiety inside of you and is very triggering. Even if you desperately need help because you are at your wit's end, you will not ask for it. Asking for help makes you feel like you are not good enough and confirms a deep feeling of worthlessness inside of you. This feeling roots back to childhood trauma. You grew up in an emotionally unstable environment or with toxic parents where you had to take care of your own. Your parents neglected you or were not there for you in the way you needed it. Also, you needed to take care of your parents' emotional needs, and not doing so or asking questions got you punished. You probably had to grow up fast and learn how to be independent and on your own. So while being independent is a great trait, life itself is inherently interdependent and working with others is absolutely crucial. The great thing is that the negative aspects can be completely resolved if you heal the issue at its root. That is true for all the traits we are talking about here, and at the end I will tell you how, so stay tuned. But for now, let's move on to the second trait, perfectionism. Your work is outstanding. No matter what you put your mind to, you get it just right, and people know they can rely on that. Outstanding grades, impeccable work, no mistakes. Your boss knows if a job needs to get done right, you are the one to do it. Probably your appearance is also spot on and you make a lasting first impression on people. But all of that doesn't come without a dark side that most never see. Hours of obsessing over what you do, constant iterations, constant rewriting, constant reformulating, and still worrying about that it's not perfect. You probably experienced many sleepless nights because your mind was worrying about how to make something better or if something was good enough. It often takes you days to do something that others only need hours for, and then you still worry that people will not approve of it. You likely spend hours worrying about your appearance or how a social event may play out. Constantly going over all possibilities in your mind to find answers for everything. In childhood, your parents likely saw you as a reflection of themselves. They had high standards for you so that you could satisfy their emotional needs. And if you didn't do it just right, the way they wanted it, you got punished. Maybe you were the trophy child, just there to show around for others, so your parents could show how good they are. Not being perfect meant emotional neglect and love withdrawal. Of course, it's great to strive for perfection, but only to a certain degree. It's way more important to get things done and learn from your mistakes. And if not being perfect gives you anxiety or feelings of not being good enough, that's definitely something that needs to be resolved within you. This is very closely linked to our next trait, overachieving. There are little things you haven't done in your chosen field. If there's a certification, seminar, or any form of professional training, you likely have done it or will do it soon. In school, you likely read all the extra classes, then studied multiple things at once, and if something extra needs to get done at work, you jump to it right away. If you even have a corporate job, likely you rather started your own business. You might seem like you have it all together and are the embodiment of success, but the dark side isn't far. Not achieving something gives you anxiety, and once you have done it, it's already worthless and you move on to the next thing. There's never an end to what you could achieve, so you are never satisfied with yourself. Failing at something means you are not good enough and unworthy. Feelings that are within you all the time anyway, no matter what you achieve. Just as before, your parents likely projected themselves onto you and you needed to achieve anything they expected. If you didn't manage to get something right, you were punished and neglected. Love withdrawal was very common and rooted this deep feeling of worthlessness inside of you. To gain back the love and approval of your parents, achieving more was the only option. By now you can probably see the direction in which all these positive traits go. I want you to understand one very crucial thing that is necessary when it comes to healing and resolving all of this at its root. As a small child, you are dependent on your parents for survival, and the number one priority of your brain is to keep you safe and alive. When your parents withdraw love from you or emotionally neglect you, your brain fears getting abandoned, and abandonment would equal death. So you automatically try to do everything right for your parents and chase after love and approval from them. This can lead to many disempowering and negative behaviors and feelings in your adult life, because your subconscious still has this fear of death deeply ingrained and connected to these behaviors. Now let's move on to our last trait, and then let's have a brief look at what you can do to heal this deep trauma and negative aspects. Being a workaholic. Free time? You don't know what this word even means. People see you as goal-oriented and always busy putting in the necessary hours. When others go home from work, you barely get started. And if you're home at one point, you just take the work with you, so you can work even more. Late nights, early mornings, little sleep, you put in the hours and probably achieve a lot while doing so. But the dark side is pretty obvious here. If you have free time, your thoughts are at work. You cannot enjoy any second of it because you constantly think about what needs to get done next. Not working means falling behind and causes anxiety. You neglect family and friends to stay at work and put in the hours. What seems like an ambitious drive is really just a fear of not being good enough that gets stronger as soon as you stop working. Being a workaholic, of course, is closely linked to everything else we have talked about so far. Not putting in the work, not getting outstanding grades, and not being a trophy for your parents got you punished. Or maybe it was the other way around, and only putting in the work got you attention from your parents. But burying yourself in work can also have another reason. Work can be used as an escape from your feelings. Some people use food to numb their emotions, some people use Netflix, some people use alcohol. You use work. Alright, what can you do now to resolve the dark side and have full control over the positive aspects of these traits? We have already established that in your childhood you need your parents for survival, and your brain's number one focus is to keep you safe and alive. Being a workaholic, as well as the other traits, are your trauma response, which is why they have a dark side. And to let go of the negative and keep the positive, you need to heal the issue at its root. In therapy, you often talk about these kind of things and try to logically understand them, but that doesn't help you with healing them, because they are ingrained subconsciously, and your subconscious does not communicate with logic. It communicates with emotions and pictures. To heal, you need to get at the subconscious root and resolve it there. This can be done with subconscious healing modalities, so you can resolve the negative aspects sustainably. I explain exactly how trauma works, how it ingrains, and how to heal from it in the video right over there. So be sure to check it out.